Direct News TV. October 7, 2023. Israel-Palestine escalation live, Gaza under bombardment after Hamas attack. Medical sources in Gaza say at least 160 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli air attacks launched after a Hamas offensive against Israel that killed at least 40. The group running the besieged enclave said its surprise, large-scale operation was in response to the desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque and increased settler violence. Hamas says it fired thousands of rockets and captured Israelis after its fighters crossed into Israel from the Gaza Strip. The operation comes after thousands of settlers in recent days carried out provocative tours of the Al-Aqsa Mosque complex in occupied East Jerusalem during the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. It also follows a major uptick of Israeli settler violence against Palestinians over the past year, occurring at a rate of 3 per day for the first 8 months of 2023, according to the United Nations. Malta asks UN Security Council for meeting after attacks on Israel, report. Malta has asked the United Nations Security Council to meet behind closed doors following the attacks on Israel, according to the Reuters news agency, quoting diplomats. The meeting could be scheduled for Sunday, diplomats reportedly said. Here's another quick recap to bring you up to speed. At least 160 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza and over 1,000 have been wounded, according to the Palestinian Health Authority, after Israel launched attacks in retaliation to Hamas' surprise offensive on Israeli territory. Israel's health sources have said that 40 Israelis have died and 750 are injured due to Hamas attacks. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country is at war, while Palestine has said ending Israeli occupation of their territory is the only guarantee for security, stability, and peace in the region. The US has said it will work to ensure Israel has what it needs to defend itself, and the UK, EU, and Ukraine have condemned Hamas attacks on Israel. An advisor to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Hosseini Khamenei said that Iran supported the Palestinians' attack. The Lebanese armed group Hezbollah has also said it is in direct contact with the leadership of the Palestinian resistance. Sources estimate at least 1,000 Palestinians have infiltrated Israel, AJ Bureau Chief. Al Jazeera's Walid Al-Omari, Bureau Chief in Ramallah, says Israeli forces have surrounded a house in Ofakim settlement and negotiations are underway with Palestinian fighters who are allegedly holding hostages. Israeli sources estimate at least 1,000 Palestinians managed to infiltrate into Israel through 4 different areas. It is the first time since 1948 that these developments are on the Israeli side because they are usually held in Arab areas, Al-Omari said. U.S. will ensure Israel has what it needs to defend itself, Pentagon. Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin says the United States will work to ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself. Over the coming days, the Department of Defense will work to ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself and protect civilians from indiscriminate violence and terrorism, Austin said in a statement. Ending Israeli occupation only guarantee for peace, Palestine. The Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said ending the Israeli occupation of the Palestinian territory is the only guarantee for security, stability, and peace in the region. We have repeatedly warned of the consequences of a deadlock in the political horizon and not granting the Palestinian people their legitimate right to self-determination and their state. We have also warned of the consequences of the daily provocations and attacks, the continued terrorism of settlers and occupation forces, and the raids on Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Christian and Islamic holy sites, the Foreign Ministry said in a statement. What guarantees security, stability, and peace in our region is ending the Israeli occupation of the land of the State of Palestine, with East Jerusalem as its capital, along the 1967 lines, and recognizing the people's right to independence and sovereignty. Nobody had an advanced warning about Hamas attack, Political analyst Noor Odeh has told Al Jazeera there had been no warnings about what was about to unfold. Those who used to talk about such raids in the past were accused of being fans of science fiction. We have to remember that Israel is a military power and the difference between Israel and Palestine's military is huge. So what we saw today is certainly unexpected, she said. But analysts have been warning for months about what has been happening to the Palestinians in the occupied territories and in Gaza. So everybody with a sense of what was going on knew the calm so far was deceiving, and knew something big was going to happen, she added. Just in, number of Palestinians killed at least 160, medical sources. Medical sources in Gaza have told Al Jazeera that at least 160 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's attacks. The number of wounded people has exceeded 1,000. Israeli schools will be closed on Sunday, Education Ministry. The Israeli Education Ministry says all kindergartens and schools will remain closed across the country on Sunday, expanding a previously announced decision. Earlier, the Israeli army said that studies would not be carried out in the center and south of the country. Israeli air raid targets ambulance in Khan Yunis, report. A Palestinian Red Crescent ambulance has been targeted by an Israeli air raid outside Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, in the southern Gaza Strip, leaving several Palestinians wounded, according to the Wafa news agency. A correspondent with the Palestinian news agency reported that an Israeli aircraft fired a missile directly at the ambulance stationed in front of the hospital, resulting in a number of casualties. Some of the victims, which include a paramedic, were in critical condition. At least 40 Israelis dead, 750 injured, Health Service. Al Jazeera's Sarah Khairat, reporting from occupied East Jerusalem, says that the Israeli government has confirmed that the number of Israelis killed has risen to at least 40. The previous number, reported by emergency services, was 22. More than 750 Israelis have been injured, our correspondent said, adding that the numbers are likely to continue to increase. Intensity of aerial bombardment in Gaza increasing, AJ correspondent. Al Jazeera's Yumna El Sayed reports from the Gaza Strip that the intensity of Israeli aerial bombardment has been increasing. We're witnessing more residential buildings being targeted. According to local sources and witnesses, there are many casualties due to the bombardments, she said, noting that residential buildings were also being struck. Palestinian officials have yet to release a death toll. Considering Gaza has been under an Israeli blockade for the past 17 years, the people have nowhere to go. They have no opportunities to leave in times of escalation like this. They have no shelters to move to. This is how complicated the situation in Gaza looks like, El Sayed said. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.